Hey lovelies, it's Anne. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I am here for this free business coaching session, which I do from time to time. It's been, oh gosh, I don't think I've done one this year actually. This is the first one I think for 2024. So it's long overdue. And I love these free business coaching sessions because I give you guys the opportunity to ask me absolutely anything. If you are free to join me, you can hop on and literally ask me anything. I did also share a couple of posts offering this free business coaching, and I got some questions that were submitted to me. And I've decided to actually just focus on three of the questions for today because I wanted to give people the opportunity to ask me anything live as well. But I've got a great theme. I've got some great questions that I'm going to be creating some free trainings on over the coming weeks. So let me start by quickly introducing myself to those of you who may be new to my world, and then I'm going to get straight into the questions. My name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a money mindset coach. I live in beautiful Melbourne in Australia. It's a bit cold, but it's nonetheless still beautiful. I help my clients who are coaches and consultants to package and position their value into a high ticket offer. That is my thing, right? That's my genius. And often my clients just need a couple of sales a month to make a multiple six-figure income, right? And by following the strategies and principles that I teach, it is entirely possible to build a multiple six-figure business working just 2 to 4 hours a day. And one of the questions I'm going to be answering today is going to kind of go into that a little bit as well. So let me start with the one of the questions that I chose, which I loved, was from TJ, and she said, what are some ways to increase visibility and reach organically on platforms like Facebook? I picked that because there were a few people talking about visibility and not feeling like anyone cares, and they hear crickets and all that kind of thing. So I thought this particular topic will answer a lot of questions. Increasing visibility and reach organically on platforms like Facebook or Instagram or any platform really requires a combination of strategies, right? And I'm sure you've heard most of what I'm going to share before, but I'm going to tell you again, because if you don't feel like you've got the visibility and reach that you truly desire, it is very, very, very likely that you're missing one or more of these things. Yeah. Number one, consistency. Consistency in your content creation, right? If you show up from time to time, with big gaps in between, then that is massively going to impact your algorithms, right? Regular posting, engaging, sharing valuable content that resonates with your audience is the first step to being more visible. Yeah. Using a mix of different formats as well, I think, is really, really important, right? Because it becomes like a bit of a pattern interrupt. So, always writing short form content or always writing really long story posts isn't going to help with your visibility. Posting too much can also sometimes impact your visibility, right? So, it's just creating a mix. Like, I personally only post one time a day, once a day. Like, some people I know post 3, 4, 5 times a day, and there's no judgment from me, but I find that sometimes I stop paying attention when someone is posting way too much. Yeah, because I just kind of go, oh yeah, it's her again. And I don't necessarily pay as much attention if someone is posting too much. But I like to see a mix, right? And I think it's important that we use video and we use photos and we use, on Instagram, whether it's carousels or reels, and really keep that your content fresh and interesting and appealing. Yeah. And that's a lot, but we don't have to do a lot. We just have to do what we're doing well. Yeah, so it's relevant. Number 2, optimize your content, and ensure that you're using really relevant keywords or hashtags for Instagram, right? Like, keywords are really, really important. Keywords that are so linked to your brand. When you use them, like, I have had so many followers, so many people find me just through the word high ticket. Yeah, because they're looking for something to do with high ticket, and then I show up because I'm using those keywords a lot, right? Hashtags, keywords, they can hugely help to optimize your content. And the hook, the first line of any post, right? No matter what platform it is, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, the title, the hook is so, so important to stop people from scrolling. Yeah. And it is worth taking an extra few minutes to really think about that first line and whether you're grabbing enough attention. Moving on, I still can't see comments, which is so frustrating because I really want to chat and find out what's going on. In fact, I can't see anything. So I'm hoping that I'm still live because I can see that I'm still live here on my phone, right? But anyway, I'm going to keep going. Number 3, engagement and interaction. We have to remember, gorgeous ladies, that this is social media. It is a social platform. Whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, the question that was asked was mostly, was specifically mentioning Facebook, but I know it was it's relevant for all platforms. We need to actively engage with our audience, responding to comments, responding to messages, just engaging in other people's content and all the things. And this does not mean spending 24/7 on social media. I don't do that, right? I don't do that. But being really intentional and spending even 15 minutes a day, 10 to 15 minutes a day, where you are just engaging. And certainly on my own content, I make sure that I respond to, every single comment. You guys will see this, right? Okay, sometimes there are posts that, I may have created days or weeks ago that still have comments, but those comments came way, way later. But for a good 24, 48-hour period, because sometimes I get hundreds of comments on a post, I will continue to engage with those comments, right? And all of that helps to boost my algorithm. Yeah. And every now and then, if you're finding that, things are a bit quiet on your page, it's not an issue with the algorithm. Let me tell you, right? I mean, sometimes you cause the issue with the algorithm by either posting too much or by not posting relevant information and all of those kinds of things. But the moment you post that it's your birthday or your anniversary or some lovely celebration, most people will respond, or something really sad or awful happens, most people will respond, right? It's because it's a bit more relevant at that time, yeah? So sometimes, when we can't always have a birthday or an anniversary or a sad thing that happens in our life, and we don't want sad things in our lives anyway, but sometimes we can boost the algorithm through asking a question that can be really engaging, right? But I don't do that very often. I might do that, I don't know, once every couple of months or so, but it can be helpful to help to become more visible, because people will then naturally engage and start joining in the conversation. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of do you like cats or dogs, or, those sorts of posts that are so obviously looking for engagement. But, bring something meaningful and relevant to the work that you do. That could be awesome. All right. Facebook groups, other people's Facebook groups could be a good way of increasing your reach and visibility too. Joining relevant Facebook groups where your ideal clients hang out and having conversations in comments, engaging with other people. If the group allows you to promote, then, even promoting a little bit, sharing insights, sharing value, giving back. These sorts of things are totally going to help you to stand out, to be visible, and all those things. Yes, it can be a little bit time consuming. I get that. I don't do some of these things anymore because I just don't have as much time. Actually, that's not true. I have more time now, but there was a period of time when I didn't have much time. It can be a bit more time consuming, but that's the trade-off, right? That, the trade-off is, the alternative is to get more reach and visibility, you pay for ads, yeah, which is not sometimes what people want. It's not feasible, whatever the case might be. So, other Facebook groups can be really effective. And the final one I think I'll say on this topic, because I could talk forever, actually, maybe I'll leave it with the last two things, is collaborations, collaborating with others, interviewing others, being guests on other people's platforms, whether it's podcasts, Facebook Lives, and really sharing generously through those collaborations can really help to promote you to a wider audience as well and get in front of more people. And the final thing I'll say is video. Video, especially for Facebook, right? And especially Facebook Lives, are prioritized, right? When someone goes on Facebook Live, you get the notification when someone's going live, yeah? And give generously, give value, give people a reason to follow you, to pay attention to you, and do things like Q&As and valuable trainings, and maybe show behind the scenes or whatever that might feel appropriate for your business. And all of these things collectively, and honestly, I could keep going, will definitely help with the algorithms, with your visibility, and all those things. The second question that I am going to respond to came from the lovely Sarah, who asked me, where do you find premium clients? And she went on to say that it feels like everyone in her audience has no money. Now, who else feels like that, right? I thought that was a good topic and worth, again, talking about, because, again, there were a couple of other people who asked me similar questions, and I thought, yeah, I'll cover this one. Firstly, premium clients are everywhere, right? They're not just hiding in one group. They're not in one place. I mean, there are some groups that do attract more premium buyers because, it is a more, the leader of that group is offering a more premium service, and so on, right? Like the high ticket groups and so on. But premium clients are everywhere. Some people attract premium or high ticket clients while others face the I can't afford it objection. And there are many reasons for this, right? Firstly, your own confidence and your own authority plays a huge part in being able to call in the more premium clients, right? Think about it. The businesses, the entrepreneurs, the coaches who are attracting the high ticket, the premium clients, they exude confidence and authority in their niche, in their field. Yeah. They position themselves as the go-to expert, as the leaders, which makes clients more willing, right, to invest in that kind of premium price point. And they become so, that's what magnetizes them. Yeah. So really kind of check in with yourself and sort of, are you being as bold and brave and confident and audacious, and are you as convicted in your offers and how you show up and what you do as you could be? If not, that is something to look at, right? The second thing I would say is, to attract premium buyers, to attract high ticket clients, you have to really, really clearly demonstrate your value. Yeah. Like, this is what some people do so much better than others, right? Clearly communicating the value they provide and how it directly benefits their clients. Yeah. This is not about, and I say this over and over again, this is not about like selling your offer. This is about selling the result, the promise, the outcome, the problem that you solve. Because it's not about your product. It's not about your modality. It's not about NLP or Reiki or hypnosis or, a 3-month coaching program or a 12-month coaching program or a 1-hour intensive or a 6-week immersion. None of that is what the clients pay high ticket prices for. They pay for the result. Yeah. They focus on solving a really specific problem and the tangible results. Yeah. And that's what makes it really easy for clients to see it's a no-brainer to pay that high ticket price point. Yeah. So really check in with yourself and look at your content and, what you're saying, and are you doing this in order to attract those premium buyers? Are you being specific enough? Are you talking about your offers and your solution in the way that it demonstrates the value? All right. So moving on, I would say the next thing to consider is your positioning. Yeah. Your premium positioning. Like, premium clients are attracted to brands that, reflect quality and professionalism or have some sort of exclusivity attached to it, that kind of thing. Now, this does not mean, in my opinion, this does not mean that, you have to be that high flyer, flying first class, driving, some Lamborghini and, flying on private jets and carrying your Chanel handbag or your Louis Vuitton or whatever it might be, right? That's all of that stuff is about what looks like luxury. Yeah. But premium bar, and of course that helps. That can help. Like, don't get me wrong, that can help but that's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Premium buyers are looking for a premium service. Yeah. They want to feel like what you have to offer them is the only solution, is the best solution. They're not looking for the cheapest solution. So there's no way you can actually attract premium buyers with cheap. So that is something to seriously consider, your price point, yeah, and your positioning, because to attract premium high ticket clients, you actually have to have a premium high ticket offer as well. Yeah. And then do the things that I've already talked about that, really demonstrate the value of that offer and, and the value proposition and, confidently, audaciously, boldly talk about it, right? All of those pieces come together. And your target market is important as well, right? You've got to know who it is that's willing to pay those premium prices. And you need to speak very, very directly to them and tailor your marketing specifically to them. This is where talking to everyone, I'm not going to get into the whole niche conversation, but when you're talking to everyone, no one listens, right? So the more you can target and speak to a really specific person, the more you're going to stand out and the more people are willing to pay, because they see you as the specialist, not as the generalist. Yeah. People don't pay high ticket to generalists. they pay high ticket to specialists, to the experts. Yeah. Because if you're a specialist, if you're an expert, you will speak to the pain points. You will speak to the very specific desires of your ideal dream clients. Yeah. And that's what makes them more likely to resonate with what it is that you're saying. And then there are no price objections because they want what you have to offer. You're getting price objections from people because they're not your dream clients. Yeah. They're not. The other thing I would say with high ticket is it's always about quality over quantity, and it's about building relationships and connections. And, so this is not about, volume. It's not a volume game. You don't need a huge audience. You don't need, to post 50 million times. You need to really connect at a very personal level. And that is, because people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Yeah. And that could be something to really look at as well. Like, are you building relationships with these people? Are you, having real conversations with them, or are you kind of withdrawing, or are you just pitching? Are you just selling? Yeah. Like, the successful entrepreneurs are really, really good at this. They're the ones who, they're really good connectors. They're good at sort of those conversations in the DMs and engaging with their audience and, like really creating that kind of personalized interaction through their content and all the ways. Yeah. What else? And then the final thing I would say on this particular question is your offer irresistible? Is your offer the reason that people are saying, I can't afford it? Yeah. That irresistible offer, and I've done other trainings on this, so drop a hashtag offer if you want that. Even on visibility, I've done so many other trainings on how to increase your visibility and so on. So drop a hashtag visibility, by the way, for that first question, and I can get you another training on that. But is your offer irresistible? Is it a no-brainer? Is it a high converting offer? Maybe it is the offer that needs to be shifted. Maybe it's the messaging of the offer that needs to be shifted. This is not about creating, less is more when it comes to high ticket. This is not about selling all the modules and, all the free content that they receive and the bonuses and all of that kind of thing. This is more about, is it a high touch service? Is it exclusive? Is it, what level of support are you providing? They're the sorts of things that are really important to consider if you want to attract that more premium buyer. And finally, I would say, if you are getting price objections, handle those objections through your content. Speak to those objections through your content. Like, that way you won't get those objections, right? People won't even, if you handle the objections before they even come up. I might leave it at that because, again, that is a topic that I could talk about forever. And I will see. I know, I'm so sorry. I can't read any of this. What platform are you using to be live in Facebook group today? So many changes. I'm just coming live through Facebook because, I was using StreamYard, and so many changes on Facebook. So StreamYard no longer works, but I'm just coming directly live organically through Facebook, and I can see nothing. Like, I know I'm live because I'm checking my phone, but I can't actually see anything on my screen. Well, I can see something, but I can't see comments. I can't see any viewers. I can't see anything. Janessa says, I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm just now in a position to invest more into my business and building financial freedom. If you were starting over with only 5K, what would you do to build wealth and sustainable streams of income? Ooh, I love that question. I love that question. That is such a good one. I wish you'd sent it to me before because I would have given it a bit more thought. Let me think about that. What would I do if I had 5K? would invest it on myself because I consider myself to be a great investment, right? And so what I mean by that is if I feel like 5K is not enough to invest into real estate, right? 5K to invest in, let's say, stocks and shares is like a gamble. Yeah, stocks and shares is white collar gambling, right? Because you don't know. You're putting your money into somebody else's business and hoping that it will do well. Now, you can do a lot of research and you can figure out the businesses that are trending well. And, I'm no expert in this space, but, you can take calculated risks and that's okay. You could do that. Or you could invest in yourself, right? Invest in your own skills and whether it is to invest in ads or invest in a coach or invest in learning a particular skill that you don't currently have that's going to help for you to make more money through your own business. That is absolutely what I'd be investing in. Yeah. And that's what I have done. I have always invested in myself. I've also been a huge fan of real estate. And all along, since the age of like 22, I've been investing in real estate. And that's something I do behind the scenes. But obviously, you need a lot more capital in order to do that. So in the first instance, I would invest in myself, invest in my business to make my business grow. And then as I make more money, I would look at how I can make that money grow through real estate or other sort of passive investments. That's what I would do. But I'm not a financial advisor. You've got to make these decisions for yourself. But you asked me what I would do, and that's exactly what I would do. I'm going to go on to the third question that I had planned to cover today that I received from Jess. Where are you, Jess? Where is your question? I've got it in front of me here. Jess asked, how do you stay positive and in a high frequency when things in life and business aren't going to plan? Wow. That's a good question too, right? And I saw this before I came on here, so I gave it a bit of thought before I came on here. For those of you who may not know, I built this coaching business at an incredibly busy and difficult time in my life, right? Like I would say the hardest period of time I have ever experienced in the 50 years I've been in this world, right? I had this deep desire, this calling to start this coaching business. And at the same time, my life was a mess. It was really, really difficult. And I've often talked about the fact that I had to build this business through, like in pockets of time between 2 to 4 hours maximum that I had per day. And it was through necessity. Yeah. I had a teenager, my oldest child, who I absolutely adore, and they're okay now. They're 19, almost 20, but they were going through some really dark days, some really difficult times. Subsequently, they've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder, and we were dealing with suicide attempts and all the things, and it was really, really tough, right? And at the same time, my parents, who rely on me heavily, and I am their only support in Australia. My sister lives in the US. My dad is blind, and my mum had early onset Alzheimer's, and my mum was my dad's carer, and then my mum was not able to care for herself. So I was navigating some really, really tough times, right? But honestly, my business was like so important to me, and it was my escape. It was as an escape from my life in many ways, and I had to make it work. I wanted to make it work. I was really, really driven to make it work, and you can make it work is the point, right? Staying positive and maintaining a high frequency during like difficult times isn't easy, but it can be done. Yeah. And it requires some resilience and you know, some practices, right? And this is exactly what I did, which I'm going to share with you, and hopefully it'll help you too. Again, these are going to sound very basic, right? But these basic things work, you know. Number one, I would say, is practice gratitude. I wake up and go to sleep. I have been doing this for years. I did this through my hardest days. I still do this today when life is really pretty good. And I practice gratitude. I take time every day to really focus on all the things I'm so incredibly grateful for, including my son when he was going through his darkest days, including my parents who were very, I were navigating some very difficult and challenging times, and I felt the load of all of that as well, right? And I was incredibly grateful for everything that I could think of that I had. And I truly feel, despite everything that I went through, I am incredibly blessed. Incredibly blessed. And that's how every day I woke up and every day I went to bed feeling grateful, no matter what happened during that day, no matter how much I cried. Yeah. And the other thing I would say is I always focus on the solution. So instead of dwelling on the problems that I was facing, I would, whether it's personal or even whether it's business related, I don't ever think from a business perspective. I'm going to bring in business in here because I think it's relevant, because I know, Jess, you're asking this because your personal stuff is impacting your business. It is really relevant because I don't think about what's not working. I think about, how can I improve this? How can I make more sales? How can I enroll more clients? How can I be more visible? How can I attract, premium clients? I'm always looking for solutions and never focusing on something that's not working. Yeah. It's the same thing, but it's a different lens. Yeah. So, and then I kind of go, right, how am I going to get Ollie more support? Some of this was happening during COVID as well, right? And getting psychiatric help was difficult. There were incredibly long wait lists, and it was really, really difficult. But I kept pushing and asking for help and getting the support that they need. Same with my parents, I just would look at what are the resources that were available. How can I get them more support? How can I take some of this load off myself? How can I make it better? And the same inside of my business. I'm just always sort of looking at, all right, so how can I do this even better? And I'm just looking for solutions, and I take action every day towards solving the problem. Yeah. Every day, no matter how tiny the action is, no matter how small the step is, I knew I was getting closer and closer to the solution, right? By doing that. Self-care is so, so important during these difficult times too, right? To prioritize self-care, to eat well, to sleep well, to exercise, to do all those things, to meditate, to talk about it as well with people who understand, and to find your own support network. Like I joined a community for parents with who had children with borderline personality and bipolar, because often they're quite closely linked. And I got so much support from that community, not because I actually asked for support, because at the time I couldn't even ask, I don't know, I didn't even know how to ask for support, but just knowing that I wasn't alone, just knowing that there were other people who were experiencing what I was experiencing was a huge support for me, and the same thing applies in business. Like, surround yourself with others who are, in that business mindset, in that growth mindset. Like I spoke about this recently in a training around, the identity shift. Like, the people we hang out with the most matters a lot, right? And especially during hard times, like, we need others to help to lift our spirits as well. And so hanging out with other entrepreneurs or getting support in that kind of more personal problem area. You didn't go into the specifics. I don't need to know the specifics. We don't need, but yeah, getting that sort of support. And visualization was like so awesome for me, because I would just like, not only visualize this incredibly successful business, which like I totally manifested through the hardest period of my days. Like I was saying, 2 to 4 hours. I hit my first 50K months, during the height of the most difficult times, I would say. The height of the most difficult times is when I hit my first sort of 50K months. And then subsequently, I've gone on to have 100K months and so on. And I've also subsequently really been able to change so much in my personal life that has got so much better. And things do get easier. These difficult times do pass. And that's the thing, having that belief, having that, and visualizing and seeing that, in my case, that my son was going to lead a very normal and fulfilling life, and he was going to be safe, and that my parents were going to get the care that they needed, and they were going to be safe, and they were going to be really, and they were all going to be really happy as well, right? Because they were all going through a tough time, and I was carrying the kind of the weight of that, whilst also trying to figure out business and having another daughter at home and having an offline business. But with my offline business, my husband took a lot of that load. But a lot of this other stuff, it totally fell on me, and it was tough. And visualization really, really helped. And all those things that I visualized, I totally called them into my existence. So, tap into these simple things that I've just shared. And at this, also, I would sort of say, kind of set some realistic expectations as well. Like understand that setbacks are normal, they're natural, and they're part of the journey. And the more you can give yourself the grace and love yourself throughout all of the challenges that you're facing, the more resilient you can be, and things will work out. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions at all about anything that I've shared. I think I am going to wrap up. If you don't have questions, Beverly says, thanks for sharing that. I haven't gone live since the third parties were out. Oh my gosh, Beverly. Yeah, look, I went live last week, and it was fine. Everything was fine on Facebook. So I did use Facebook organically without StreamYard, and it was fine. But this week, it's not fine. So go figure, right? But these are the things you navigate, right? And I've experienced this years ago as well, but it's kind of tricky, especially when you're doing a Q&A session and you're offering the opportunity for people to, you're not just coming on here and sharing a training or whatever. But anyway, I've rambled, and let me know if you have any questions at all. Oh, Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. I've just seen your question. How to take friendly DM conversations to a discovery sales call. Ooh, I love that question, Jennifer. All right. So, ultimately, if you have a solution to someone's problem, then why not? Right? And this is the thing. It's like, so how I used to do it, I don't do this anymore, but how I used to do it is, we'd have the friendly conversations, and then I would say, would you be open to hopping on a call so I could share some insights? And I would really and if necessary, I would even add, I'm not selling. Yeah. And in that call, I would genuinely share value, and then open up the possibility to another conversation, not that call, when you could specifically talk about your offer and how you could work together. Unless they said to you, sometimes, what would happen is you share the insights, and they would say, so can you tell me a little bit about how you work with clients? Bang, that's your opportunity. Right. But the thing is, sometimes this is the part about that I was saying with premium clients and with high ticket, is that building that connection and really working on the relationship is so important, right? And not rushing someone straight into the sale, because that's when, they sort of immediately kind of go cold and feel like they're going to get sold to. People want to buy. People want to buy. They just don't want like being sold to, right? And so if we can let go of our own needs and desires for the sale and really focus on serving with no expectation, staying detached, that has been my strategy all along and has been, the solution to my sales problems every time. Yeah. People will, so that's what I would do. That's how I would take that conversation from kind of a nice chit chat into, hey, would you be open to hopping on a call? I'd love to share some insights. And I would even say nothing for sale. And then on that call, I would honor that word. I would not then turn that into a pitchy sales call. I would honor my word. I would deliver value. But often that conversation would flow into it being, them asking me, can you tell me a little bit about how you work? And then that's opened the door for me to talk about my offers. Or sometimes I might say, if you're open to it, we could book another call and I could share exactly how I can help you achieve this result more consistently, or whatever it might be based on the conversation that you have. Does that help? Let me know. Let me know. All right, gorgeous ladies. I know there are a lot of people watching, by the way. I don't know why you're not saying hello to me, because I love saying hello to you. Although I can't see anyone here on my screen, I can see here on my phone. So thank you, gorgeous ladies, for being here. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments. I will circle back. I personally answer all the questions myself. This was fun. I enjoy doing these Ask Me Anything business coaching sessions. For those of you who didn't get your question answered, who submitted your questions to me by DMs and so on, I've responded to you to say, I'm going to create separate trainings for them. So you'll see them coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.